Hey yo, Gen Pop Gang, I just want to let it be known we reached a new feat on the channel. You heard 15 million views in total. You heard Millie Goat Gang. You heard Millie Vanilli, except for everything real over here. You heard dudes better holla at me. Vlad TVs, Revolts. You heard dudes better holla at me, bro, because I'm that next thing. I'm trying to tell y'all dudes. You heard? Z-Boy. Hey yo, make sure y'all browse that recent and new episodes only playlist. You heard it's 160 episodes on there for you to watch, for you to binge watch like you a maniac. Oh, hold on, this don't belong on here. This is a song. So it's 159 episodes on here for y'all to binge watch like maniacs. You heard? Get at me. We hitting every borough. Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, the Bronx. Everybody got stories on here. You heard? Upstate New York, Westchester County. Nobody's left out, man. We do this for real. You heard? And this is only the recent episode playlist with 159 episodes. Like, we ain't even talk about the episodes that ain't on this playlist. Know what I mean? Because we got about a good 400. You heard? That ain't even no exaggeration. We got about a good 400 episodes. But, you know, you could start off with these bucks, this buck 59. Get your mind right. LAZ, Brooklyn.
Before I even get 10 feet, if that, into Eastern Parkway, police jump out on me. Like fucking 10 police cars jump out on me, and they go straight to where the grip is at. Finds it. Boom. And I done been pulled over multiple times with him in the car. My man to attest that. Nobody ever found this grip, and it was impossible to find unless you knew where it was. So they go right and found the grip. Boom. So I said, oh shit, these niggas found the grip. Like, I've been listening to the stories, and it's crazy because as I was building up to build with you, I just been thinking like, damn, man, what the fuck should I even really name this shit? But I was just thinking, you know, signs that we overlook, bro. Like, cause you know, as you come up, you know, as a young dude, even though some of us came up in the 90s, 80s, we alleged to have knowledge of self, and we did, and the lessons taught us to, you know, look deep within ourselves, and it also taught us to kind of, you know, assess, you know, our cultural identification. However, we just overlooked a lot of the things that was going on, you know, around us that we should have just paid attention to, like, you know, dealing with individuals when they grow up and how they turn out. Some of these signs has been there all our lives, like with our close friends, you know, bro. So the topic is this, man. Like, I grew up in a place in Saratoga on the hill, born and raised there, man. I got there in around 1983. Right? I was 2 years old when I got there, you know, but I come from a block where it's in between 4 project buildings, so it's considerably a fucking project in a sense, you know. Even though it's a side block, I still come up with that same project mentality because we all, you know, we all like one. But my specific block, I come up with, you know, individuals like my big homie Mel G, Amar Rel, you know, Pepsi, Shaka, you know, just to name a few I came up with. But the particular story is about a brother, you know, for now we just gonna call him the Brownsville Bandit, you know what I mean, just for now, you know what I'm saying, the Hill Bandit. So this individual, I will start as early as my earliest memories of this individual starts, I'm gonna say around when I was 7 years old, like 6 or 7, no, I'm lying, 6 or 7, because me and my man Rodney Ron was playing, and my earliest memories of this, because this individual was like 5 years older than me, right? Maybe 6. You know, he brought me out the house in a sense, you know, brought me outside, used to watch me. My grandmom's entrusted him to watch all of us on the block because he was an older dude, you know. So, however, while he was outside, he used to be doing things that was kind of strange. Like, and all of my big homies could attest to some of the strange shit they used to do. He used to be backing out his joint, you know, running and chasing everybody, all the little girls and the little boys. That was the first step. This is like 87, you know what I mean, brother? So, again, I didn't really pay much attention to it because I was 7. Everybody was running like, oh, this guy's crazy, this guy's crazy. Everybody ran, whatever. Boom. So he was exhibiting behavior. He was a bully on the block. He was doing a lot of different things. So he wasn't fully well liked, you know, from early on. But as time went by, he had got knocked on the tip, and he went to DFY. You know, so now that he's about 5 years, he goes away. So he goes away, and then he returns back after his bid for this attempt. And while he was away, you know, all of us are coming into ourselves. We forming our names. We coming into our own. You know, we forming bonds with each other without him. His older brother is, well, not his older brother, his brother that's older than me. We all forming bonds without him. So by the time he gets back from his DFY little bid, he now done been away for some time. He come back, you know, he got his weight up, and you know, he got a different level of energy. But he come back, and everything we done built, our reputation, everything we done built is like, you know, he comes back and kind of frazzles that. Like, he chased off the little girls we used to have coming, and he just started doing things that was, you know, just different than what we usually did. He started becoming a little bit more of a Debo type in a sense. You know, he never did that to me, but I'm gonna be honest, I idolized that because that's who I wanted to be. I always wanted to be a tough guy, you know, because I always knew how to fight and all that. So I just always wanted to be tough. So I idolized that. However, he comes home, chase all the girls away. So his brother that's older than me, he always would say like, "Yo, man, y'all should stop hanging with that dude. I ain't fucking with him. I'm going to get a job." Like, you know. And that's exactly what he did. He just left us and left us in the care of this dude, because he was technically like our big homie or one of them, you know, while he was away. So he left and went and got a job. So we in the care of this dude. So we follow his directions. We doing certain things that he's, you know, he's directing us to do. We getting in trouble, doing shit like that. We had never, prior to this dude, you know, taking control of us, we never really got in trouble like that. We was fighting and doing shit like that, but we never sold drugs and none of that shit until he came around, you know? So now we doing all of these things, and we just getting into things, and this brother is like, you know, he got this crazy jail aggressive mentality that he's utilizing, and before that, and I told you he chased the girls away, he even took one of the girls, and fucking one of my little girlfriends that I brought her to the block straight from 55, IS 55. I brought her to the block. He ends up taking her and wifing her for the next 5 or 6 years, but I ain't paying no attention to it because I had a couple little joints, but, you know, I never forgot that. But, again, I overlooked that. He took her, he wifed her, whatever. So, as time is progressing, things are just changing. The dynamics of everything is changing, and this dude's energy is showing that what he's bringing to the table is turning us into something different, you know? He's taking us on missions. He's doing things that we wasn't technically doing before he got home. So he's taking our innocence away, but we're not necessarily noticing that, you know? So we're moving forward in life, you know what I mean? By the time I get like 14, you know, I get jumped or whatever, I go through something, I go get him, and instead of him, you know, wanting me to like go back and fight, 'cause that's really all I wanted to do, bring the whole block, fight, you know, shit I've been doing since I was a kid. That's what they know me as, fighting and all that. I ended up getting into something, squeezing on something on his command, catching a case behind that, you know, doing my little bit and all that. So, and even then, I don't even think nothing of it, because I just wanted to fight, but on his command, I did that. Boom, I catch that. So now I'm thinking that, and it's like, it's nothing. All I want to do is impress this dude and impress the big homies on my block that, you know, I finally made it, because all they was talking about was Spofford, Rikers Island, all that shit up north. All these things, they were just intriguing me, and I just wanted to be amongst that, you know, course. Like, fuck that, I want to get. So by the time I get there, and this is another lesson, I'm just dropping in independent jewels as I'm going through. So I get to, you know, jail and juvenile, whatever, and I call home and I speak to his brother on the phone. I call a house phone back then. And at Spofford, it's not like Rikers Island where you got slot time and all that shit. You gotta go to the office and, you know, damn near beg for a call in a sense. But you know, mainly you calling your people, like, you know, 'cause you don't get a lot of calls. But I utilize one of my calls to call a crib. So I called a crib, you know. I'm speaking to my man, which is his brother, and I'm telling him, I can't wait to tell him in the, you know, the related message that I'm doing my thing in there. Like, you know, shout out to my son Smitty Brim too, that's my guy. He just reminded me about, you know, the things we was going through in, you know, juvenile and Rikers Island. My son Smitty Brim, you know, that's my guy right there. So I decided to call you know, and speak to my man. I'm speaking to my man. I'm letting him know. I'm about to let him know all the aggressive shit I'm doing. I'm fighting. I'm holding it down for my snacks. All this crazy shit. And my man was like, "Yo, listen, your girl that's out here that you left, you know, she had a baby, and that baby kind of looked like your sister. Yo, it might be yours." And that shit threw me for a loop. Before I even get to that, he gets on the phone. He laughing and giggling like, "Yo, hey, yo, listen, niggas out here fucking your girl, bro. You know, Rail fucked her, everybody fucked her, bro." He laughing and shit. He fucked my whole spirit up. So my man is telling me something serious. He gets on the phone. He know he done did biz before, and now I realize that, but he did biz before. So he knows telling me some shit like that is gonna fuck up my day. You know what I mean, bro? So he fucked up my day. I wound up getting restrained and all that because I disregarded what my man said about this baby situation because I honestly never fucked up, but I ain't never tell nobody that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I disregarded that. And all I'm listening to is this dude fucking laughing about all of the dudes fucking my little joint. You know what I'm saying? So I let that go at that age because I didn't look at it as, you know, betrayal at that time. I was still upset, but I just felt like he was holding me down and looking out for me. That's what I thought. Because, you know, I figured that's my big homie. He ain't gonna do me like that. So, you know, I wound up coming home and he's still at it. He done been back and forth a couple times, and he's still at his behavior. You know, he's still doing what he's doing. Now, I'm telling you, I could come to this dude for anything, you know, for him to help me out. Mainly, primarily fighting and, you know, going through drugs, guns, shit that keep me more in depth in the streets. But I was able to come to him for that because that's what it was, you know? So so when I get home, I still come to him for these things, and these things are, you know, still prevalent in his life. However, I get knocked again, go to the island around 9/8, and I'm starting to hear that he caught some like devious sexualized crime. Like he caught a crime, whereas it wasn't even alleged. He had raped some little kid because we had a group home on our block. So we had some kids that came through there that was kind of vulnerable. So he caught some little Spanish kid, raped him on the roof, and left him on the roof. Like, and he went back in the group home and just he bleeded. It's just crazy. Like, you know, so that situation happened with this kid. But it's hard for me to even believe some shit like that because I've known this dude all my life. However, the block somewhat overlooked it in a sense. You know, he did go to jail for it, and you know, now that I know
how old you said the kid was,
the kid that he raped, or the kid that
he raped.
Oh man, I don't even know that kid though, to be honest. But that was a group home for people that was 14 and older, so he wasn't like a baby or nothing. But the group home actually was younger kids than that, because some of them went to junior high school with us, but no younger than 11 or 12, I believe, because these kids was going to junior high school with us too. They was in IS-55, so that kid was like, I don't know how old that kid was, but it was 12, 13-year-olds in this group home up until like, I believe, 21. You know? So, but we grew up with them. So that kid, somehow, some way, he must have got around it, because that kid went to Great Adventures, like I said, and he ain't really reported until he got himself in trouble, or something happened with the case. So something happened where he got in trouble, and then he said, "Oh, I was out late or whatever because this guy raped me," and he had some level of evidence because he had the pants or whatever he had, but it wasn't substantial enough, from what I'm understanding, for this dude to have done life or in prison or whatever, you know, behind it. So he got around that, and this is all while I'm still on the island. So now, again, another story happens while I'm on the island. Is Crip kid from my neighborhood named Mike. The story is already out there. He put it out there, you know. So I'll even if you want to leave the link to it, but he put the story out there. And the Crip kid, because my block in my area, Far Place, Saratoga, at that particular time, Bloods and Crip, we didn't really, you know, we all family. We all grew up together. We have no quarrels. Everything is love, you know. So therefore, and plus the kid, my big homie that the story is about, he's Bloods, you know, and we had a honeycomb in the hood, you know, whereas we kept everything in there and shit like that. So my man, you know, well, the big homie dude, you know, that I considered my man, he had told the Crip kid, "Listen, come help me get this TV out of the basement you know, because I'm trying to go sell it or whatever I'm trying to do with it. So the Crip kid willingly, all right, let's go. So he goes in there, and when he get in there, allegedly the dude, you know, the Crip kid was like picking up the TV or whatever he said he was doing, and then the kid, and then my man allegedly had, I'm even gonna say allegedly because it's so spooky because nobody's dead after it, because I can't imagine that shit happening and nobody died. The dude had his pants down, his joint out with a 2x4 and a razor in his hand, telling the Crip kid, suck my dick. You know what I mean? So the Crip kid is talking about, oh, he's stuck. So he told the kid, yo, sit down, all right, I'm gonna do it. And then when he told the dude to sit down, he allegedly like punched him in the face and ran out. But before he did that, my man clapped him in his face, boom, busted shit, and he had a couple stitches and shit. So that's the story. So somehow, some way, that interaction happened, and the Crip dude said he never did it. Now this is 2 on the book cases that this dude had, you know, and again, the hood and the block is just overlooking it because he's tough, and we showing them loyalty. And you know, that block loyalty, that blind loyalty, that gang loyalty, that family loyalty sometimes, you know, allows you to overlook certain patterns that these people had all their lives, that they've been exhibiting and displaying all their lives. You know what I mean, bro? Mm-hmm. So that happened. Those 2 on the books. So now I come home 98. You know what I mean? Fucking September, and he got 2 on the book cases already. You know, but it's hard for me to believe this. Like, I even came at the Crip dude like, yo, you sure? Like, yo, that's my man. You know, extra tough shit. And the Crip dude my man too. But I'm like making sure, like, yo, you fucking sure this is crazy? 2 cases, like, so he didn't get locked up in call. You know,
yo, your phone went out. Your phone went out for a second. You said he didn't get locked up for what?
He didn't get locked up for the Crip dude situation. He didn't get for the Crip dude situation, but the Crip dude did tell the hood about it. You know, he mentioned that to the hood, so he didn't get locked up for that. So because he didn't get locked up for that, it was just again another floating rumor that this happened, but this happened.
And the dude, the booty bandit dude, he in the streets doing regular other shit too?
More aggressive shit than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he doing regular shit, hustling drugs, all kind of shit. So I'm just giving points as to signs that's been there. You know what I mean? And that's just not even a half. I can't even. It takes 5 hours for that. But he out there doing regular shit, and it's like, you know, we overlooking this shit for whatever reason, because we grew up with this nigga from the sandbox. You know how that Project Block loyalty is, though. You know what I mean, bro? Sometimes you overlook these things. So he gets around that one, you know? But in the interim of that, I come home now. Now I'm back in the town. And my little man, Coconut, my cousin in a sense, he's from St. Vincent. His family's from St. Vincent. He lived right next door to me all his life. But I never really understood why his aunt and my man grandmother, his cousin's grandmother, used to wear like bones and skulls and all kind of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? But I just thought that was who she was, because she was nice to everybody. Anyway, one day we get into something, you know? And Coconut is, my man Capone, Coconut is the crib where, you know, joints will be at and things will be up there. So we ran up there to get something because we got in, you know, and upstairs, bro. I come upstairs and I run past the bathroom, and and my man grandmother got the booty bandit dude, the big dude in the tub. I'm guessing he was naked. The water was blue, was lights, fucking candles around, smoke. She was saying some wild, crazy shit. That shit scared the shit out of me. I ran out, boom, and left that shit. I left the joint almost, like, you know what I mean? And it's about to be on, so I couldn't get that image out of my head because I don't know what the fuck was going on. I had never seen nothing like that in my life. So now, as I'm a 41-year-old man, I'm like, damn, what the fuck was this dude getting his soul clean for? And he wound up beating all these cases and shit behind that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, I deal in the law. I don't know what, you know, what happened or what type of spell or what they was working on. Somehow, some way, bro, it might have worked. You know what I mean? There's people out there that believe in that. I'm not knocking them, but that dude was in the tub. And then I asked my man a few years later, and he kind of told me, like, yo, that's what my family do, you know, and that's how I started looking at my man. He was not catching no cases, and he doing all kind of wild shit, and he even had a similar case like that, but with a little girl, some statutory shit. He ain't catching no cases, you know what I'm saying? So he getting out of things. So somehow, some way, that shit scared me, bro, and that was on my mind all night. It was on my mind all that night, and the 20 years later, it's still on my mind, because I couldn't get that scene out my head, that this big-ass dude is in the tub. The tub is like, the water is a different color, there's mad candles around, and she chanting something that, I don't know what she chanting, and I'm not even going to begin to be able to explain what was going on. So that was a sign that he was trying to get his soul clean for whatever reason he was trying to get his soul clean for. And I'm guessing it's because of the situations that he had going on at the time. You know, so I fast forward, he's still doing certain things. And one standout situation is this. My big homies, my man Amon and Rel, he came to get them one time and was like, yo, this dude Danny stole, because the dude Danny was dealing with his aunt. They had a kid together, so he told my mans that this dude Danny stole the DVD player from my crib, blah blah blah. So they went down and beat Danny up, uppercutted him, stomped him out, did all kind of crazy shit to him, beat him up. And the next day or two, maybe a week, is me and my man Amon, you know, and him. We go to a pawn shop. He gets the fucking DVD player out of the pawn shop that he had them beat up a dude for. You know what I mean? So my man A like, yo, listen. Why you had us beat this dude up if you, he like, nah, he did it, I just had to come get it out, and you know, but the shit is in his last name. But again, we overlooked that, you know, we overlooked that behavior. So as we move forward through life, he's still doing things, I'm still getting into things behind him, and I'm the last man standing in support of this dude, you know, because again, I had that blind block loyalty. All my guys eventually, after everything settled down years later, stopped really fucking with son, moved on, doing different things. I kept him on the team. You know, I kept his name relevant. He went back and forth up north. I was doing my thing in the street, getting busy, doing things, building a name for myself. And he come home, I kept him relevant. I let him drive my car. You know, I'm getting into things for him. I'm busting my gun for him. I got into it with the oldest drug dealer in my hood named dude. They both calling each other rats. One looking at me like, yo, why you taking up for this rat and this, that? So as we progress to why the reason that I called in and wanted to share the story is that as time goes in 2004 now this is 2004, my man, you know, first and foremost, rest in peace to my man Rodney Ron, my man El Dorado, you know, free the guys, free my little brother Tron, A Rose, free Blue, free everybody, you know, free my nephew Brazo, free the guys. And at this time, 2004, we had a party on St. Mark's, between Thomas, right on MOP block, right across the street from their building, St. Mark's, between Saratoga and Thomas Boylan. It was on Thomas Boylan and Saratoga and Thomas Boylan, right? It was on that. Well, it was on St. Mark's between Saratoga and Thomas Boylan, right in the hood, right on my hood, right across the street from MOP building, where they did all their videos, where they from, everything. So we doing that, and we at this party one night. And he with us. He's the driver, because I used to let him drive my car and all that. So my man Quarterman, R.I.P. to my baby boy Quarterman, is out there. It's the party. You know, the whole hood out. My little brother Twan, a.k.a. Rose, he's out there. He Crip. And he's beefing with another little Crip dude. And my man Quarterman is blood. So my little brother getting into it with another Crip dude. And they get into a little skirmish. And my man Quarterman, he jumps in, pops off, punches the other little Crip dude in the face, boom, boom. And so ironic that the other little Crip dude is with a blood dude himself. So the blood dude asks, yo, who hit my little man? So my man Quarterman like, yo, I hit him. What's up? You know, back and forth. The other blood dude from the opposing team backs out the grip. All praises due, lays my little man Quarterman down, bro. So now after that, there's a lot of back and forth, you know? There's a lot of exchanges almost immediately after that. There's a lot of exchanges, there's a lot of issues, there's a lot of things that's going on between the two factions now. And he's not even involved in none of that, you know, at this point. So, you know, everybody getting involved and doing whatever he's doing, everybody's having it. He comes to me like, yo, listen, I need some money, bro. I gotta get out of town. I got caught this case or whatever he caught. So I tell a nigga, I'm so wrapped up in this little war that we got going on. So I tell him, listen, homie, I don't really, got the bread enough right now for you to get the level of bread you asking for. However, I didn't want to get the bread, and I had the bread. And I said, listen, take these 2 joints, right? Get rid of these shits. It's gonna get you exactly, because this is joints. Everybody want these. And to take these, and you don't even got to give me nothing back for them to get rid of them. So he takes them or whatever. He goes and do robberies with these shits. You know what I mean? He catches them, do robberies, do some dumb shit with them, gets knocked. You know what I mean? And the twist of it is he gets knocked, and he gets knocked in his girlfriend's or his girl's apartment on some like creep burglary shit. He's hiding out in her tub, and they was fighting, and they call the police. He was already on the run for the robberies. And when they pull up to the crib to lock him up for the burglary of his girl's apartment, they going back at it. They knock him with the joints. Now, almost immediately, he gets knocked with these joints, and he tells them, listen, I got these joints from Nate Boy, and I'm going to be able to call him and have him meet me somewhere. He got another joint riding around in his car that's attached to a shooting that's been going on. All the shootings that's been going on in the hood, him and, them dudes been responsible for that. So he does exactly that. He calls me. I'm in the gym. I'm back in the gym. Anybody that knows me, I used to be boxing. I used to be doing all that. So I'm back in the gym, right in your P's and Howard, right in the basement, in the PAL with Angel in them. I'm hitting the bag. I'm trying to get myself back, on that track, So I get the call on the cell phone, and it's him, but it's private. And this is 2004, so phones are so different. So he calls me private. I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, yo, them niggas came back. They was shooting at me on the block. Yo, I need you to come hold me down. So immediately, I don't even ask no questions. I hang up, boom, jump in the ride, and the joint that I had in the car is only a specific place that individuals who rode in my car and who I let know where it is. So he was one of the individuals that knew where it was. So I jump in the car, I go meet him by Royal Fried Chicken. I used to be right across from your project, bro. Right on Eastern Parkway in Rockaway. I don't know if you remember that.
Of course.
Right on Rockaway. So I go there, he's not there. So I'm like, damn, what the fuck? So I call his phone, she goes straight to voicemail. So now I'll drive out, I come out on Rockaway, make the left on Rockaway, make the left on Eastern Parkway, on my way back to my block. Cause I'm thinking, that's where everybody probably mounted up at, whatever. Cell phones wasn't that prevalent then. So anyway, before I even get 10 feet, if that, into Eastern Parkway, police jump out on me. Like fucking 10 police cars jump out on me, and they go straight to where the grip is at. Finds it, boom. And I done been pulled over multiple times with him in the car, my man to attest that. Nobody ever found this grip, and it was impossible to find unless you knew where it was. So they go right and found the grip. Boom. So I said, oh shit, these niggas found the grip. And they took me, and I'm thinking, I don't even know what I'm thinking, because my mind is racing at this time. So when you go to the 73rd, right? They got the first floor, and if the case is not like no crazy shooting or no crazy shit, they just put you on the first floor in that first cell. Or if you got like a homicide or an attempt or something, they take you to the second floor in the homicide room. Dark ass room, one room. So they took me straight to the homicide room, and I'm like, what the fuck am I coming to this room for? What the fuck? Like, what's going on? Like, and as I'm sitting in there for a few hours, and I'm starting to hear his name. You know what I mean? I don't really understand what the fuck is going on. And then I realized, because my lawyer came and talked to me, and he was like, yo, they're investigating you for some shootings and things like that, but they only got the gun right now. And I'm like, so why the fuck am I in here? And he was like, well, the burglary police arrested you. Now, the burglary police got no business in no homicide matter, so that means they had to act fast. So, long story short, I leave there, and I go to Century Booking. This dude is in Century Booking. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is you doing here? Like, what's going on? And again, I'm still not necessarily registering because I'm not understanding. He's like, yo, somebody is telling on us and blah, blah, blah. It's not till I got to court, and they said it's a confidential informant on the case. We got tipped off by an individual that was already in custody that the gun that was retrieved is involved in multiple shootings and, blah, blah, blah. And that's what they were saying. and he's named on this. Now, me and him is somewhat co-defendants in a sense. You know what I mean? Because now they charging him with those grips that got attempts and murders on them shit. Them shits got things on them. So he fighting. He got to answer for those. And now I'm getting held for an attempt that they can't prove. They got a dude that come and he can't prove that. So eventually he blows to just the robbery. He blew to the attempts at first, and then he gave some time back. You know, because he couldn't explain them shits. He blew to that. He gave some time back. He just blew to the robbery and the guns. And I ended up, based on him not wanting to testify any further, I end up beating the attempts, and I just blew to the grip. You know, so, and that's what happened on that note with him. And as time forwarded, I fully came to grips that friendships don't matter, and all the signs was there, but I just overlooked them. You know, bro, I overlooked everything. I didn't really notice that this dude was a creep, snake, foul ass nigga all his life. But I had that block loyalty. I love my block. I love my hood. So I just overlooked some of that shit, you know? And at the end of it all, I should have known that this dude wasn't no good, though, because he used to do little slick shit like that, like tell other dudes, girls about him, just slick, crazy shit, but he never necessarily did it to me. But again, man, we overlook certain things, man. We allow for individuals to do certain things, and we overlook it because we love them, our family, our friends, even our significant others. We don't hold them accountable as much as we should, and that's a lot of that in life. And that's how a lot of times when we get burnt, we be acting shocked, like we don't know what the fuck is happening. And if we were just paying attention, we would have known all along that these are not the type of individuals that you should deal with. Now, at 41 years old, bro, I look at character. Like, if one of my mans talking crazy to his moms, and I know his mom's like elderly, she did her thing for him, I ain't really fucking with son. If he ain't taking care of his kids, I ain't fucking with son. It's just certain things that I'm overlooking. If I see him stealing too much out the store, I might not even fuck with son. You know what I mean? It's just different. I watch the character now. Like, you know, as I didn't do that when I was young, so I got burnt, and it almost cost me my life. You know?
Where is that dude nowadays?
That dude is free, from what I'm understanding. And let me tell you the twist, though. He's free. His daughter is my daughter. I raised his daughter as my own. When he would have known, I took care of his daughter. Raised her. That's my daughter. Her son is my grandson. Anybody in the hood knows that I still took care of his daughter as if she was my own to this day. She's 19 years old, bro. I took care of his daughter to this day. That's my kid. She's a part of my life. I raised her as if she was my own, with my own kids. You know, I just threw a party for my grandson last Saturday. You know what I mean? And that dude is, you know, he did all that time. He still ended up going. He did all that time. He's supposedly home. You know, and what I wanted to say about, like, allegedly all the booty band and stuff, back then in 98, you know, we didn't have the internet. You know what I mean? We didn't have the sex offender registry and all that. So come to find out, he had another case in Virginia. He's on lifetime sex offender registry for that. So he's been doing this. He's been doing this behavior. So back then we couldn't really look these cases up, but now you can look up sex offender, and he's a registered sex offender right now. That's what he is. You know what I mean? He's an absolute registered sex offender that you can find on the National Sex Offender Registry. Anywhere that brother goes, they gotta keep track on him. You know what I mean?
You think son is like he's still in the streets?
Well, he ain't around though. His brother's my right hand man. Like, you know, he's still around, but he ain't in no streets on no street shit though. Like, he ain't he left all that shit alone, you know? Because niggas alienated him after that. Like, he went up north, he got clamped. They chased him out of Clay because, you know, all that shit came out. The rat shit came out. The booty bandit shit came out. So none of that is even, you know, none of that is even able. He couldn't even really get a leg up. He tried to turn Muslim, so that was the only thing that saved him. The homies wasn't jacking him, you know, and that's just what it was. He went to Clinton, they clapped him in there, you know. I never been to no maxes and all that, so you know how the maxes play, man. Ain't no real ain't no real tolerance for that shit up there. You dig? So they clapped him out of all them shits. It's done for him. Like on that note, you know what I mean? So he don't even live in the state no more. I don't think. But that's just really it, though, bro. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I feel like loyalty is so different, though, bro. Like, it's like we be allowing for certain things that we just overlook things and the shit be right in our face all our lives, man.
That's
And that blind block loyalty, that gang loyalty, all that shit. Man, that shit, man, blind you, man. You gotta wake up sometimes, man. We gotta wake up and just start seeing people for what they really are, man. Word.
Lately, it's just been some excessive hate about my music. As you can see on this post, it's 100 likes. And then it's that one dislike. But see, you don't know me, disliker. And what you don't know is, I done already paid a private investigator to find out your IP address, nigga, and I'm on my way to your motherfucking crib, nigga. You wanna dislike my shit? Aye, nigga. Say no more. I got 5 Brownsville niggas with me that I was up top with. We coming through. We strapped.